A few days ago, I put out a video talking about the potential leaked release date for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, as well as the possibility of a Nintendo Direct on March 26. And what do you know? Both leaks happen to be exactly true. So today, I'm going to break down the Nintendo Direct Mini that just dropped on our laps today with no warning, and I'll mostly be covering the games that people on this channel will be interested in, the Japanese games, the JRPGs, things like that. There's a lot to get into, so let's just dive right into it. So first of all, it started with Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition confirming the leaked release date of May 29th, and they showed off a ton of new gameplay, and it looks awesome. They're calling this a remaster, and I feel like this is the absolute limit of what you could consider a remaster without calling it a remake, because obviously the character models are completely different. They said they remastered some of the music. The UI and the menus look completely redone, a lot more updated, smooth, easier to use. They included a new epilogue story called Future Connected. A lot of people were freaking out about this because either this was cut content or it was not fully fleshed out in the original game. I've never played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, so I don't know the extent of what this is or what got cut, but people seem to be really excited about it. So anytime there's new story content, that's a thumbs up for me. And they also announced something they're calling the Definitive Works Set, which is basically a collector's edition that comes with a 250-page art book. So this is really their next big game. As we'll go through this, there's not really any other big first-party Nintendo games that are coming or that they talked about in this Direct, but it looks really, really awesome. I've never played it. I've played all the other Xenoblade games, so I'm super excited to finally get my hands on this and see what all the hype is about, because people seem really excited about this game. People seem to absolutely love it. Next, we saw a bit from Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. They showed off the Fantastic Four DLC called Shadow of Doom. And if you have the expansion pass, apparently it's available today. So there's some cool new character designs for Mr. Fantastic. Everybody else looks pretty much the same, but they have been really pumping out DLC for that game. So if you are into Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 and you have the expansion pass, you got more content to play today. Speaking of games that just released, and there's tons of content, Animal Crossing New Horizons will have its first update coming April 1st, and they're calling it Bunny Day. And so this event will last from April 1st through the 12th. What it looks like is there's a bunny character that shows up. Again, I've never played any of the Animal Crossings, so forgive me that I don't know this character's name. And what happens is there will be egg hunts. Like, it looks like there's eggs in the trees. You can fish for eggs. You can probably dig up eggs. So there's egg hunts, and potentially you can trade them in for items. And there's egg items that you can craft, and they showed bits of that. So that looks really cool. I love the pastel colors. It looks awesome. I'm having an absolute blast with Animal Crossing. So the fact that they're going to keep this game going with new updates is really exciting. And they also teased an Earth Day event that's coming in late April. So it's really exciting to see that even though this game is really content rich, that they're going to continue to add to it. So I'm really excited about that. Really looking forward to all the updates throughout the year that are coming to Animal Crossing. On a bit of a surprising note, they announced that Katherine Full Body will be coming to Switch on July 7th. There doesn't seem to be any new updates, no Nintendo-specific costumes or items or anything like that, just a straight port. And what's exciting about this is that it seems like Atlus is willing to play ball with their games, and does this possibly mean that Persona 5 will finally come to the Switch? Maybe they're wanting to give Royal a bit of breathing room on PS4. I mean, that comes out next week. So maybe a little bit of time after that they'll finally announce Persona 5 Royal potentially for the Switch. So that is an enticing potential scenario, but really cool to see Katherine coming to more consoles, because that's a fantastic game. Next, they briefly touched on the next DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and they didn't say specifically who it was, but they said that the character will be dropping in June and that it will be an ARMS character. Now, it's really odd that it would be an ARMS character. I feel like if they were going to do an ARMS character, it should have been closer to launch of Smash Bros. Ultimate, because that game is like kind of dead at this point. As far as I know, they have not done any new updates or anything like that, although they did say that there is going to be a free trial for ARMS, so maybe they're trying to revitalize the game or something like that, or maybe there's an expansion pass coming, so they're trying to, use Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as like a springboard to get more people in the game or something like that. So really interesting to see what they do, and we'll see which character it is. Next, we got a big blast of gameplay for Bravely Default 2. This game continues to look incredible. They have that Bravely Default theme, which is just enchanting and amazing. They show a bunch of areas that look, God, they just look absolutely stunning. So one piece of gameplay that is new from the previous one, there is no more random battles. Enemies will show up on the map before you encounter them, so it won't be totally random. And they introduced the four main characters, Seth, Gloria, Elvis, and Adele. So they had a little bit of breakdown of that. Seth seems to be like a thief character. Gloria looks to be like a mage or priest. Elvis and Adele they said they're adventurers just looking for a sacred item, and they look like they have sound like they have Scottish accents. So cool to see that the main characters are there. And a big piece of news is there is a demo available right now. So if you want to try the game out, you can try it right now. And this sounds like they're going to do what they did with Octopath Traveler. They said they're going to put this out. It's essentially just the beginning of the game, and they will put a survey out at a later date to help polish the game, just to see what players think about it and what they want to do with it. And so there is no specific date for it yet. They still said that it's coming out in 2020. So the fact that they would give Katherine a date of July and not a date for Bravely Default, I figured it was going to come out in the summer, but that game might be a little later in the year than I originally thought. So that seems like it's either an August, September, October game, like fall. That sounds like a fall game at this point if they don't have a date for it yet. I feel like this game was shown already, but they showed more gameplay for a game called Ninjalah. And this is essentially a multiplayer melee combat game. And this is not a Nintendo game. It looked like it was from Gung Ho, if I remember right. And it gave me major Splatoon vibes, though, like very cartoony, very colorful, very fun-looking game. And it just looked really neat. It's all obviously about ninjas. So it's kind of cartoony ninjas running around, hitting each other with looked like little rubber baseball bats or something like that, but it looked cool. And they announced it'll be coming out May 27th, and it'll be free to play. So hey, if you're into those types of games like Splatoon, it'll be free, so heck, why not give it a try? Now this was some news that was a long time coming. The Panzer Dragoon remake dropped today. They showed a little bit of gameplay, and I guess it's officially called Panzer Dragoon Remake, which I didn't know. I thought that was just called Panzer Dragoon or something like that. But for those that have been looking forward to that game, it is available today. Right now, you can go get it on the eShop. And speaking of other things that are available today on the eShop, Trails of Cold Steel got a release date for June 30th on Switch, and there's also a demo available today. So if you've played the demo on PS4, I have not played this specific demo, but I'm going to assume it's the exact same one. So if you're curious, maybe just to see how it runs on Switch, that is available today. So definitely go give that a play. Now they closed the Direct with information on the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. Now they didn't go into part 2, they only went into part 1, which is the Isle of Armor. And so this one seems to center around this kind of martial arts dojo, or gym, I guess if we're talking Pokemon. And so what happens is you get this Pokemon called Cub Fu. It's like a little bear. And so you are given the challenge of battling either through the Tower of Darkness or the Tower of Water. But the thing is, you can only use Cub Fu to do this. So you can't bring any other Pokemon. But when you do defeat the tower, complete the tower, Cub Fu will evolve into Urshifu, which is like a big bear. And depending on which tower you decided to go with, Urshifu will have varying movesets depending on the tower. So that's kind of interesting that you can kind of customize this Pokemon a little bit. And they also said that the starter Pokemon will also get the ability to Gigantamax. So Inteleon will get the snipe. This looks like a sniper move. The Fire Rabbit gets an even bigger Fireball, and then the Grass Monkey, apologies that I don't remember all their names. The Grass Monkey looks like it has vines that come out when they're playing drums, and it looked super crazy. So yeah, look cool updates coming, and of course there's more customization coming to your character. They showed new outfits, new hairstyles, and new pieces of customization that you can do to your league card. And lastly, they said that Isle of Armor will be out by the end of June, but no specific date, and that the Crown Tundra is still coming out this fall. But they did give a disclaimer at the very beginning of the Direct saying like, this is just for now because of the coronavirus. Who knows if we're going to stick to these dates? Don't hold us to any of these dates because everything's kind of up in the air at this point. But all in all, this was a pretty good Direct. It was about half an hour, tons of great news. I mean, of course, this channel is very JRPG centric, so we got a couple of really great pieces of news when it comes to JRPGs with Xenoblade Chronicles, Bravely Default, Trails of Cold Steel if you haven't played that already, and then we got some new Pokemon Sword and Shield information. So for me, I'm super happy. I'm excited that leaked release date for Xenoblade turned out to be correct. Now for somebody like me, I'm actually really excited about The Last of Us Part 2. That comes out the exact same day as Xenoblade, so unfortunately I'm probably going to prioritize The Last of Us Part 2, but I do want to get to Xenoblade eventually because I've heard nothing but good things about it. But overall, this is a great Direct. People have been really looking forward to a general one for a long time, and it was awesome. I think it might have been a little underwhelming. I think people were expecting maybe some Bayonetta 3 news, maybe some news about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, something. that Paper Mario, there's been this long rumored Paper Mario game, whether it be a remake or a new game. So, you know, it was interesting that they didn't have anything for the back half of the year in terms of, you know, big games. But, you know, there is the E3 window coming, you know, in another 3 months. And that's typically when they show off their fall games. They announce their fall games. You know, a lot of developers and publishers have been doing that, like announce stuff at E3, put it up pretty quickly. So maybe they're holding their cards a little close to their chest, and we'll have some news in June. But for now, I'm pretty happy. Thumbs up. I'm curious what you guys think. What do you think about the announcements? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you are subscribed. Right now, about 75% of the people that are watching my videos are not subscribed, so if you're one of those 75%, consider subscribing. I talk a lot about Japanese games, specifically JRPGs, and I got a lot of cool videos that I'm working on coming down the pipe. A review for War of the Visions, that new mobile strategy RPG that Square just put out, some stuff about Animal Crossing, and a whole lot more. So thanks for watching my videos, guys. Thanks for leaving comments and leaving kind words. I really appreciate it. Hope you're having a great week, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.